possible for one to be rich and spiritual? Because you see, many people wrestle with this and wear being broke and living in lack like a badge of honor. Meanwhile, the world at large, including the one we live in, and when I say the world at large, I actually should change that to Gaia. She's very abundant, very wealthy. Hey, love it, be good to see you again. Thank you for sharing and liking the live. And so the planet is wealthy. Air that's clean when she put it out. Soil that's rich and feeds the entire planet. Rich in minerals, metals, and all the material to build heaven here on earth. Everything, because everything that we value and everything that we base our wealth on comes from the planet. Can you name me something that we consider and put in the category of wealth that doesn't come from the planet? I know there are two of you in here. If you can debunk me, I would love, because I always like to expand knowledge and wisdom within me, and it comes from you and it comes from everywhere. Please tell me if there is anything that we call wealth and being rich that does not come from our planet, Mother. She was not created broke or with lack. And we are the offspring, at least in this life, because some of us think we come from somewhere else. But at least in this life, we are her children. Because this body that you're wearing came from her too. This does not look to me, when I look in the mirror, I don't see a picture of lack. Because I came and my mother, the planet, Gaia, isn't lack. Nowhere near it. And since I come from her, I'm the same. You see, we have embraced lack, not we as in you, as in everyone. Let's just say too many of us have embraced lack and wear it as a badge of courage. And we even look down, disparagingly even, at those who are well off. And we say, ooh, those people that have abundance and money and all of that, they're evil. Look how they got it. No one said that because you're not spiritual and because you ain't doing the right thing that you should be broke. You see, the energy of wealth and the energy of abundance and money does not discriminate on with how someone behaves. Just look around you. Some horrible people got a lot of money. All of the billionaires, all of them. That might be one that's an exception. These people are all evil. I'm not going to sit here and toe the bag for them. And I'm not going to sit here and deny what you see with your eyes coming out of these people, pure evil. I'm not going to deny that. But they're not wealthy because of that. They're wealthy because they don't accept being in lack. That's all that's required. And of course, the system for which they run, they want to keep you in lack so that they can take the wealth that's yours. And they can successfully do that. Hey, Nolia, Empress Expression, they can successfully do that with people who throw their abundance to the corner because they're carrying belief systems that encourage lack and bring it into their environment. And I know that it's very difficult, especially if we're born in lack. I was. Every day, I saw lack. Every day, I saw it lived. Every day. And it can be difficult to overcome that program, especially if you've been taught that that's the way the good people live. And they give you all kinds of things. Bible verses. The meek shall inherit the earth. And that essentially means those who don't have and those who allow themselves to be doormats. The meek shall inherit the earth is not something you'll ever hear me say and tell anyone, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Sounds like something someone would say if they don't want any competition or if they don't want you to get any clue about who you are and what you're supposed to be. Sounds like something that would come out of somebody's mouth who wanted that to be what all the rest of us believed. That's what that sounds like. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let it be and Nolia Black. Follow their footsteps and please share and like the live. Family partners with society to keep people in lack. Absolutely. Empress expression. Empress, you should have been here the last live where I was talking about. Oh, it was all about expression, girl. I was talking about expression and how important that is. And here you are with the name. I know you've come here before, and my weekday lives tend to be late. If you're on the East Coast or in another country, it's hard for you to catch it. Right? Lack. Family partners with society to keep people like, yeah. And your parents, they don't even know that that's what they're doing. They just think it's the right thing. You know, they do things like, the meek shall inherit the earth. The love of money is the root of all evil. You guys have heard of all that BS. And some of you probably heard me say this before. And I always, when I talk about this kind of subject, abundance, that kind of stuff, I always mention this, and I always ask, thank you, Levitt. Thank you so much. I always ask this, right? Expression is a birthright, exactly. I might touch a little bit on expression too in this live, because it's so important. Thank you for the kitty cats, Levitt B. It's so important. But I always ask this. There's not a lot of you in here, but it doesn't matter. There might be some watching from the outside. When have you been inclined? Those of you who are here, when have you been inclined to do something that you normally wouldn't do? I'm not saying you did it. I'm not, I'm just saying, when have you thought about doing something in regards to when it comes to money? When have you thought about doing something that you wouldn't normally do? Is it when you didn't have money? Put a 1 in the chat. If you were inclined to do, because this is a 2-part question. If you're inclined to do something that you normally wouldn't do, was it when you had money? Put a 1 in the chat if you would be inclined to do something you wouldn't normally do was when you had money. Put a 1 in the chat. Be careful with the question, right? Just listen. Thank you so much, Lemon B, for that heart. Heart for you too. When have you 3? She's spazzing out. That's what I like to see. Spaz out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's an expression too. Let's see. No one's put down a one. Okay. Now, this is the second half. When have you been most inclined to do something that you wouldn't do? Most of you didn't put anything down if you had money. How about if you didn't have money? Which one of the two scenarios would you at one time been inclined to do something you normally wouldn't do? When you had money or this one? Put a one in the chat if it's when you didn't have a lot of money. Put a one in the chat if you're inclined to probably think of or inclined to think about something you wouldn't normally do when you didn't have money. Thank you, babe. See, that's abundance. She just brought me a nice, it's my wife, a nice drink. See, you should have a low bar when it comes to abundance. That's the key. Right? Because when that bar is low, then you celebrate everything. And then your mind decides that you need to have more of that so that it can participate in celebrations more often. Levitt B said when she didn't have money, Nolia Black said she would be more inclined to do something she normally wouldn't do when she didn't have money. That's right. So how the heck, by the way, I've asked this several times. This is probably about the 6th, 7th time. I've only had one person out of probably 50 people that have responded over those 6, 7 times who said they'd be more inclined to do something bad when they had money. And I'm convinced they were just trolling me. The love of money is the root of all evil? No. The lack of money is what's the root of all evil. The lack of it. It messed up one word. Take that word love and replace it with lack, because that's what the root of all evil is. Because people are likely to do good things when they have money. People are likely to do good things when they don't have money. Let's not get, right? Because most of the people I meet are good people. Right? But I tell you the truth too. In my lifetime, the likelihood of me doing something I wouldn't normally do has occurred when it comes to money when I didn't have it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're at 4.6K and there's only 4 of you, which means you guys are just rocking it. Thank you so much. Yeah, people tend to do bad things when they don't have money. And then they get punished by the system that causes them to not have the money in the first place. Because you might think not having abundance is no thing. This is the thing. I'm also not blaming the victim. I'm not denying the fact that our system takes away from some and then gives to those who don't need it. Right? But I'm not speaking in this way out of naivety. But I want you to know that you do not have to buy into what the system tells you or what the system is doing. No. As a matter of fact, that's what this live is about. Thank you so much for continuing to share and like the live. Eventually, you guys are going to pull some people in here. Because that's what happens. Usually, it starts off like this, and because of you, by the about 40 minutes in, it starts to grow. We got Renee, we got Nolia, we got Levitt B, and Empress, and they're pulling the weight. All of you are just doing the job here to get us to that 10K. Right? So, The planet is wealthy. The planet is abundance. We are on the planet. So therefore, abundant planet should equal abundant people. But we know, right, that there have been teachings, particularly from religion, created by those who want to control the masses, who preach that being wealthy should be reserved for after you die. It doesn't make any, if you if you just stop yourself and you think of some of these teachings, you'll just start laughing. Because if you just stop and look just for a second, you'll see the con man behind the curtains, wielding his deceit and his nastiness, so that you and your children and your family can live in lack. Meanwhile, they have money for all the things that they want. I don't know how we tolerate our governments. I don't know how we do it. Meanwhile, abundance everywhere. You want to start the abundance train? I want you to go, if you have a place that you can plant anything, 6 of you in here, go plant and find some heirloom seeds of female trees and start planting them in your area, in your home first, and everywhere else in your neighborhood. You don't need permission to plant anything anywhere. You know what they've done? This is simple. Even on this app, you can get these heirloom seeds and start planting female trees in your neighborhood. I'm going to tell you this, the last place that I lived in, they didn't quite get to that place because I could walk a square mile and be full at the end of that walk. Lemon trees, orange trees, pomegranate trees, orange trees, tangerine trees, grapevines. And then while I'm eating, I could be picking roses and beautiful plants and bring home a gorgeous bouquet. I've actually done it. I didn't spend a dime. I got fruit and everything because this neighborhood, people just plant things. You don't need anybody's permission to plant. Why do we allow these people just come in and plant stuff in our neighborhood? And they're planting all this stuff. See, they're very, very slick and subtle. You want to start abundance? You plant a fruit-producing tree in your yard. You are asking the energy of abundance to come to you. And she will come. And when you plant that female tree that bears fruit, a female tree is one that bears fruit. She will bear fruit and you will be partaking of it and you'll have a relationship because she's nourishing you. And then that opens on an energetic level other doors of abundance that bring other levels of abundance. But if all you have are masculine trees, you should have both. All you have are masculine trees. There's no way for abundance to birth itself in your environment. You have heard it here first. I am serious as a heart attack. Get yourself some heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds. Do not go to your local Home Depot and all those rat bag places. You will not find female seeds in those places. Why do I say that? You notice how I refer to the planet as female? Just like everybody else. See, there's no denying that. Not even the most rat bag female hating person will deny that the planet is female and all the abundance is coming from her. Money, she's a girl. And she has standards and requirements. Ladies, don't ever let them tell you your standards are too high. I've heard that. No. You lift your standards, girl. Because money, she's a girl too, and she's got standards. She ain't coming nowhere near where she's not loved and cherished. She's not coming nowhere near any place that isn't going to value her and have nice words for her. You know what the nice words are for money? I come in and I spend you and you return to me in tenfold. She loves those words. That's how you talk sexy to money. Thank you so much for getting us to 10K likes, you guys. She goes, speak sweet nothings to me. And you go, I will put you in a place where you can go to work for me. And I will appreciate the dividends that you bring to me. Oh, she loves those words. She doesn't like sitting under mattresses doing nothing, because she's also not very lazy. She's very ambitious. So when you satisfy her need to express her ambition by going to work for you, paying your bills, and you saying, you know what? I'm not giving you away for you to go to somebody else. I'm just giving you away right now so you can do some work. And when you come, your place in my abode and in my home is going to be spick and span, clean, with everything you want in it when you come back from paying that bill. And if you only but have a bit of emotion about it, she's going to go there and no wandering eyes are going to distract her, because she's coming right back home to you. She ain't going to have no wandering eyes for anybody but you, because you told her the things that she loved to hear. You treated her the way she likes to be treated. And when she comes home, it feels like that to her. And the first thing she wants to do is find you so she can wrap her arms around you and greet you. And she does not care if you're man or woman. But this is not how you've been taught to think about money. You've been taught to look at how she works in the hands of those who you consider evil. You need to think about money in a way that makes you have a loving relationship with it. Yeah. And here's the beauty about that, Levitt B. You don't have to be a certain age for money to fall in love with you. She's not ageist. And she doesn't look at looks. She only looks at how she's treated. She doesn't care if you're a man or woman. She only looks at how she's treated. Right? Gaia, she doesn't judge you. She just gives you. Money? Yeah, she's got standards. And she's looking at things. And she's looking for certain things. She's looking at how much you think you're worth. She's looking at how much you think she's worth. She's looking at where lack might be, because she doesn't want to be in the same room with that bastard. Nah, she ain't gonna be cozying up in the same room with that bastard. Lack and her ain't friends. They can't even live in the same neighborhood, much less the same house. She goes where she's cherished and where she's wanted. That's right. She goes to where she's cherished and where she's wanted. She ain't much different from you. Because on the mental level, when you prepare that, you're dressing up your mind for money. You see how I'm talking? Not making it hard. This is probably the most powerful manifestation course you'll ever hear. And it's free. And I'm not giving you any silly principles and stuff and da-da-da-da-da-da. You want to prove me right or debunk me? You put on the same attitude that I've been talking about the last 5 minutes about money and watch the magic happen. And yes, you're welcome to come back and DM me and let me know how it's working. I'm happy to hear the good news. Because when you do that, you are dressing up your mind. You see, your inner child is the most attractive aspect of you for money. So when you're inside of your child, your inner child, and you're acting like that, when it comes to money, oh, she pours out the bags. She's throwing the bags at you. Because when you're a kid, and you're 5 years old, and you saw another kid who's 5 years old, you didn't know what skin color they were. You didn't know what background they're from. You didn't know who their parents were. You didn't know what their neighborhoods were. You only saw another 5-year-old. You know what you thought? Playtime. That looks like playtime. And that's what happened. When you see money, you are in your inner child and you're that 5-year-old. And money is just another 5-year-old. And when you get together, you have fun and you have playtime. That's how you have to treat money. Notice I'm not talking about abundance. I'll get to that in a little bit. Because most of us don't have problems with abundance. We have problems with money. So I get right to the point. Many people don't want to talk about money because, it might make them look a certain way. And you know what the problem with that is? Money likes to be liked, or abundance rather, likes to be liked completely. And money is an aspect of abundance. And if you don't like money, abundance is going to have a big frown on its face when it comes to you. So that's why I'm talking about money. Because you need to transform your mind from how you think about money. And you must do it from the outside in. You must make up a loving relationship with money. And even if after you do that, shit don't go the way you want it to go, no, you don't become discouraged. Because you've been going a certain direction for so long, the minute you turn around, the momentum going to take you the same way you've been going all along for a little bit before it turns around. And notice I didn't say you have to make money to have money and all these other things? Because that is true in a way. But what this term is, you need to have money to make money, is you are far along the line. They have left out a bunch of stuff that has to happen before then. I'm talking about the stuff that has to happen before then. Because if your attitude with money doesn't change, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general. Thank you so much for getting us to 10,000, 14,000 likes now. Thank you guys so much. I'm not saying you, but because if your attitude doesn't change when it comes to money, she doesn't stick around. Just ask lottery winners who got money but did not change their attitude and their money environment, particularly the money environment in their minds. Oh, we're not short of stories. You could look them up. You go, look at all the story of what happens to lottery winners. It's nothing but bad news once they get the money. And the only ones that hang on to it are those that realize that they must change their minds when it comes to money and did the work to do so. Because if you live in lack, I can give you $10 million and I could basically put an egg timer as to when it's all going to be gone from you if you have an attitude of lack. If you don't prepare a room in your mind that is a healthy relationship with money. Again, notice I'm talking about money because that's where we have the problem, because that's where our focus is. So I have to go where it is. Because for most people, oh, abundance. I mean, they talk about the cows come home. You ask them a few questions and you'll know why they just talk about abundance. I've had one here 3 weeks ago. I said something about money. And then I explained why. And then I said, after a while, because she wasn't listening, right? And I said, that's why you broke and you have nothing. And then you want people to come on here and do like you. That's why you're so broke. That's why you have nothing. She disappeared right after I said that. Because her higher self or her ancestors will tell on her ass. And they let me know what was going on with her. And I simply just told her the truth. Because what they brought her to this life for is for her to see, at least look into a different way. Or at least look at it from a different angle. And she was having none of it. And I said, just tell her that. And I told her she was gone. Because the information streams through so that you can make the right efforts. I might only be talking to one person in here. That's okay. You see? Thank you so much. So now we're up to 8 people. You see how it's growing? Now 9. Because of you. Especially the 4 of you that I kept mentioning earlier. You know who you are. Levitt B, Lexi, Loris, Empress, Express. Thank you all for being here. Let me make it 99 new messages. A lot of it is to your likes, but let's see if making sure. I got a gambling addiction, spend thousands, but grudge buying a shirt. Levitt B. Yeah. And that's the other side. I'm glad you brought that up because an addiction like gambling is not lack, right? It's not lack. And it's not anti-money. It's just a big chasm in the room that you call money, where money just can't stay because you got the back doors open and there's a wind that blows her right out of that door. She can't stay there, not because she doesn't want to, but there's a wind, and the wind is the addiction, right? But the not buying a t-shirt part, now you're doubling down with the lack thing, right? So fix one, if you fix both of those. If you can only start with one, start with one. And bring that as whichever one you want to start. Maybe the addiction, because you can start with the lack thing, and then that goes, and then more money comes in, but just as much that comes in goes. Right? Because there's no judgment here. Right? The thing is with gambling is that it triggers a part of the mind that brings big rewards. Right? It brings big rewards instead of biochemical rewards. Potentially doing well one day, the rewards of that. Right? But if you do deal with the addiction, before you even start dealing with, find something that you can give the mind to do that's satisfying. Because if we don't do that with addictions, right? And I can tell you that too, because I've recovered from addiction myself. If you don't give the mind something to replace it with, the mind will always go back to what it only knows. It'll go back to what it knows because it doesn't know anything else. Just see it like that. Thank you for your honesty, though. Dopamine junkie. Yeah, that's a lot of us. And this app doesn't help, does it? Oh, thank you, Levitt B. And my background is, you guys, I came from a very, very poor family. You know, the ones taught love of money is the root of all evil. Meek shall inherit the earth, all that garbage. That's my background. That's my background. But whenever I need anything, it comes. Because my spirit, just like yours, is abundance. Am I perfect? Are there some things in the room of my mind that I'm working on right now? Absolutely. In what I'm doing, there's some things that I need to do that involve money, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. And I struggle with that. So I'm not here a perfect picture. And that's the thing that I'm working on, because it means I don't trust my spirit enough. You see. So I can be up here teaching this shit without being perfect. But just, I'm willing to be transparent. Just like Levitt B. But I have never not gotten anything that I wanted or needed. Never. Abundance lives with me. I remember a couple of years ago, I'm going to give you, because I'm going to get away from the money part a little bit. A couple of years ago, I was living in a place and I wanted to move to a certain neighborhood, because one of the things I believe in, folks, is I will live in the neighborhood and the environment, like the state, or where there's sunny, wintry, whatever. I like it sunny. I like it warm. I will never live in a place where it's not sunny and warm. Number one. Number two, I will live in the neighborhood that I want to live in. I don't care what the price looks like. So this happened about 8 years ago. I was living in a place and I thought, Spirit said to me, you have to leave here pretty soon. Lots of stuff has happened here. And it's time for you to have a fresh start. Not right now, but you need to start thinking about it because it's going to happen. So what I do is I drive around different places, different neighborhoods. I get the feel for them. And then I drove around this neighborhood. And the minute I drove in, I go, yeah, this is where I want to be. Right here. No intentions of being there, because I didn't have to move right away. About 12 months later, oh, I gotta leave. So I went looking around for apartments, and I was going through the listings and stuff, and I saw a place, and I drove to it. I liked it. Nice little calm, cool cottage, right? I was on my own at the time. Loved it. Moved in there. About a week later, I was walking around the neighborhood. I said, because that's what you get into a new neighborhood. I want to walk around, see what's going on, see where things are. And the place where I declared that that's where I was going to move to, I walked and I recognized the wall. That there was a stone wall. They have a stone wall in the yard. And I recognized that was the stone wall I looked at when I said that a year ago. I even, by the way, forgot that I said I wanted to live there. And I said, I'll be damned. This is the place where I said I want to live in this neighborhood. A half a block away is where I lived from where I declared that. That's abundance, my friends. And where I live, it's in Southern California, it's kind of expensive. To move into that place, I needed $6,000. That was 8 years ago. Because you have to pay the first month's rent, and then you have to pay a rent's worth of deposit. So it's really, when you move into a place, that's not the rent. When you that first month or whatever, it's not the rental fee. It's double. There I was. Not one time when I said I wanted to live there did I think about money, how much, what kind of job, did I have to save anything? No. Because in my mind, there is no compromise when it comes to where I live. There is no compromise. I will not live anywhere except for where in my mind, that place has to be sunny and warm and a neighborhood that I like. It happened. That's abundance. Because that's sitting in my mind. And there's no possibilities of anything else happening but that. None. Thank you so much for sharing and liking. There's 6 of us, but I feel so good. The energy in here, right? And you guys are a part of that. You guys are a part of that. So adopt a new, whatever it is that you got, you want to become friends with that, with money. And money is in love with your inner child. Be like that inner child, and money will not have a problem coming around. Right? And let's get to what. Sometimes I have notes. Sometimes I follow them. Sometimes I don't. And sometimes most times I only do like 2 or 3 points. That's it. And all of it is me just talking to you. But just remember, money is neutral. And that you assign the meaning. It really is, money is neutral. That's why bad people, good people, everybody can be rich. And you'll find people being rich on all spectrums. So by now, you should be able to get from my clickbait title that it's totally okay to be spiritual and wealthy. As a matter of fact, the ideal combination is for you to be spiritual and wealthy. Because people like you are the ones that need to have the abundance and the money in your hands. because of what you will do with it based on your heart. You're the ones that need to have it. The divine can't wait for it to fall into your lap. Exactly, just distortions. Because your heart will determine how that, and you won't hoard it. You'll share it. You'll help others. Right? Because abundance, money is just abundance in a different form. That's why you have to fall in love with it. You have to fall in love with money. That's right. Because if you don't fall in love with her, she ain't sticking around.
That's why I was trying to go in front of you, but I couldn't say anything because people were doing it.
And you're not going to become evil with money. Because money is simply a reflection of who you are. You're already freaking evil before money came along. Or you're loving before money comes along. And it will accentuate that. It will accentuate that. Thank you so much, you guys. 20K likes. The guilt, that's the thing. Now let's talk about the negative stuff that you were taught and was placed upon you. Again, you doesn't mean you in particular. If it applies, you take it in. Because it's never a judgment. If it doesn't apply, it's okay. You still can get something out of it. Because maybe with the knowledge you get, you can help someone, right?
Oh, never mind.
The guilt around money usually comes from past conditioning, religious teachings, family scarcity mindsets. Who is it that says family and society creates the scarcity? You're right. All right, because I'm kind of saying the same thing. It's usually taught to you by religion, family, with scarcity mindset, or, like I said earlier, seeing wealth being used unethically. That's got nothing to do with money. That's everything to do with the minds and the people who are using it for nefarious reasons. Don't get it twisted. Don't start blaming the money for the shit people do. If it was in your hands, it would be doing something different, more positive.
Oh my God.
I can forgive everyone and understand them, but can't forgive myself. Now, let it be, that's the thing that you got to do. Now, I'm going to be a little bit more, I'm going to be a little bit more serious with you about that. Because you got to forgive yourself. Yeah. Because one of the fundamental teachings that I give to people is, like, I don't use these terms, right? By the way, one of the fundamental things I teach is, people talk about sin. I only teach about one sin. And by the way, sin is not a biblical term. Sin is an archery term, not a biblical term. It's an archery term, and it means to miss the mark. It's archery, right? Because I don't use the Bible as a reference point for anything, because we need to get away from that, right? And the only sin I teach about is the sin against the self, the sin against yourself. That is the worst sin. The inability to forgive yourself is the worst sin. The inability to accept who you are is the worst sin you can have. because you will never do for you what needs to be done. And you're here to know yourself. You are not going to ever know who you are, Levitt B, with that problem. Work on that. Okay, love? Please, please. I understand egoic programs, etc., when I'm conscious, but I go unconscious and the thoughts flood in. Yeah. Let it be, if you need some assistance with that, get it, okay? DM me. I'm willing to help you. Just DM me, okay? Not punished for sin by some kind of daddy, but punished by it. Yeah, punished by it and punished by you because you choose it. You're punishing yourself. The fake sky daddy isn't doing anything. That's what they want you to do, but you know better. You know better. You're being punished by it. But I even say it, I even go a little bit closer to home. You're being punished by you. Okay? And I don't want to see that for you. Right? I don't want to see that for you. So the guilt and the shame and all these sayings about money are all taught. Because when you start seeing money as evil or dirty or have a way, whatever picture you have in your mind, and start seeing it as neutral energy, then you can actually direct it towards good in the world. But I go the extra step. And that's why I refer to money as a woman. If you're with someone romantically, you ain't gonna accept that they feel neutral about you, are you? You want them to be in love with you. If your man or your woman comes home and says, "Oh, I'm just so neutral about you, babe. Give me a kiss," you're gonna be like, "Hold up, what's that?" Aren't you? And you should be. Because you can get neutral anywhere and everywhere. Nothing special about neutral. Love, on the other hand, is different. Money wants your love, not your neutrality. Because you ain't going to become evil because you love it. Right? Because once you understand that on the spiritual level, you are money, you are abundance, then you don't see any separation between you and it. You won't ascribe to it silly beliefs and ideas. Yeah? And as I said before, many of us spiritual people, we wear lack as a badge of honor, believing that suffering or lack makes you more enlightened or humble. It doesn't. It just makes you more useless. How does you being humble help anything? No, it doesn't. The only thing you should be humble to is your own self, your own spirit. Humility is useless in any other way. Because the reason why all these teachings, these false teachings about money exists, is to keep you in fear, scarcity, and survival, where you can't do anything but focus on where your next check or meal is coming from. You are no use. You are of very little use to the world if you're living in scarcity and survival. You're basically telling the world you're barely able to take care of yourself, much less look to be an abundant golden nugget for anything else. You want to move out of survival. And you move out of survival in here first. Now, the story is painted about money and how you should feel about it and how you should have a place in your house. And the house of the mind is what I'm talking about. But you can also have it in your house, your money corner, where you go over there and you give all the love in the world to money. But don't restrict it to that corner. That corner is just like an altar. In Feng Shui, the abundance corner is the far left-hand side of your house. The far left-hand corner.
How about that, Sharon? I have literally every item.
The left of anything is the spiritual side and the right is the physical. Money is spiritual. Far left-hand side of your corner. If you live in a bedroom, far left-hand side of the bedroom. And every week, and you put a money jar or anything, and every week you put some money in that jar to keep your focus and your mind there. I don't care if that money is a penny. You put it in there. Every week, there's more money in there than there was the week before. Even if it's by a mere penny. You're building your abundance. The corner is just a symbol. But your mind pays attention to what you do and what you focus on. And that's the point. And you might have a saying or even a ritual that you do. Make your own ritual up. Do not go in any book or anywhere and get a ritual from anybody. You make your own ritual up with your ancestors. I'm not a Feng Shui expert. I don't know what the Western corner is. But you've got the world of information in your hands. Who was it that asked that? Dab to God. Put it to use. Because the different corners mean different things. Feng Shui is a very, very, very intricate thing. Right? And very, very intricate. And you could, and it doesn't require you to be super knowledgeable. There's a lot to it. There's a corner for family, there's a corner for relationship, there's a room for this, that, the other. But I just talk about the abundance corner because we're talking about money and abundance. Right? And so Feng Shui is important, not to learn Feng Shui for Feng Shui, but Feng Shui is important. And you go in there and you get the information you need so that you can build the right mindset. Because everything is about what's going on in your mind. So I'm telling you to go to that corner and put money in there every week. Even if you can put a penny. But if you can put $1, you put that dollar in there because you want to send the right message to your mind. All this stuff I'm telling you is not about just the physical. It's just the symbology of your action so that you can drive your mind to where you want it to be. Right? Because you want to start becoming the causer, the creator, the magician. I want you to write down, get a pen, you guys, I'm going to do it too. Damn it. Because you need to know. Now, because I'm a horrible writer, I need to know if you can tell me what this word is. Please, just one person, because it might be backwards. Can you tell me what that word is? Just help me out. Ain't no limitations here. Just help me out. Write that word down for me because I want to know that you are able to understand it. Plus, it'll help somebody who hasn't. Imagination. Thank you, Nolia. Thank you so much. Imagination. I want you to see the word, this letter here, I. What's the second word? Please write that word out, please. Oh, did you lag out? I'm writing let it be. I just wrote a word. If you look at Lexi Roses, excuse me. Sorry, Lexi, please forgive me. Lexi Roses, you'll see the word there because it's kind of, I know it looks backwards and stuff. Please, Lexi Roses, write down what this word is in there. Just this word, just this 4-letter word. Take away the C. Leave it there. Take away the C, and that word is magi. Magi. You are being told who you are. Who would say I magi? Who would speak like that? If you say it as an adult, you'd say, I'm a magi. You're a magical person. But if you were 4 years old, you would go, I'm magi. If you were 4 years old, you would go, I'm magi. I am telling you that your inner child is where the magic is. And when you put that in your mind, you are doing it as your inner child. Imagination is where it's at. So when you are putting that left-hand corner of your house and you are putting more money every week into that jar, it could be a penny, just as long as there's more money in there than there was the week before. You are acting as the magi, the magical one, the creator that brings from nowhere, brings into the reality from the nothingness that which he or she desires. You're being told who you are. They cannot hide and take everything from you. Language often tells you who you are. When you speak things into existence, when you create something that wasn't in existence before, that's the imagi. That's the magi in you that's doing that. And no one taught you because you were doing that like hell frozen over when you were a kid. You got a pen and a piece of paper, and it might have looked like Scribble Scrabble or whatever it was, but for you it came from there and it did not exist until you put it there. You were doing that at 3 and 4 years old. Magic cannot be taught to you. You are it. I am, yeah. Now just be careful what you put after that. Magi. And I'm kind of telling you how to prepare for the true new year. Because see, my new year is March 20th, the spring equinox. Because that's when, you know whose new year that is? That's Mother Gaia's. That's nature's new year. So if you did all that New Year revolution during the freaking January middle of winter and you fell for the hokey doke by these fools, you just cancel all that and make your new year when nature makes it. And then bring in, reflect. You got less than a month. Look back and reflect at all the things you didn't that last year that held you back. Just take one or two. And say you're going to use this new year to fix those things. Just one or two, that's it. And if it means you create that abundance corner on the left side of your house or your bedroom, you can do the bedroom too. And you put a little sign that says, I Magi. You spell it just like this. And every time you wake up, you look at that. And every time you put that $1, $20, $10, a penny, whatever it is, in that jar, you say, I Magi. Just like you would if you were 3 years old. Because notice I bring that inner child in because she's the one that has the answer. He's the one that has all the stuff. Because he ain't got the programming that you got. Your inner child is you before the programming. And you move into the you with before the programming. About how you got to have money to make money. And how money is bad. Love money is evil. All this other crap that they made up for you to believe in. Just do that and have emotion behind it. No $2,000 manifestation course needed. You don't need to learn how to manifest. You do it all the damn time. What you need to know to do is stop manifesting the shit you don't want. That's the key. You don't need to know how to manifest. You were born manifesting. Remember I said, when you were 3 or 4 years old, you picked up those crayons and you made stuff that didn't exist before you did it and put it on paper. It's that simple for us. And this is how you begin to break the bars of mental slavery. Simple and practical things. By the way, you guys, you can subscribe to the newsletter. Link is in the bio. And if you're interested in a spiritual community, it's actually more like an academy where I teach this stuff at a deeper level. A way deeper level, but still as simple as I'm speaking right now. Take a look at my spiritual tribe or just DM me. I'll walk you through the whole thing. That's better. No obligation for that, by the way. You're not obligated to sign up after I walk you through everything. And you won't be getting any calls from me afterwards. You don't have to feel bad about coming to the live if you didn't sign up afterwards. You understand? None of that. None of that pressure stuff. Because you either see it or you don't. And then you go about your life. Right? Marinchen, I don't know what that means. Katja Carpet, if you'll clarify. 4 years old. I miss flow state. Yeah, flow state. 4-year-olds don't have problem with flow state. But flow state does not restrict itself to you when you were 4. Because you have just gotten the clue and you know it for sure deep down. Because look what you just wrote. Let it be. 4 years old, I miss flow state. Why do you think I'm asking you to go back to your inner child? That inner child, let it be the 4-year-old, I assume little girl, wonderful little girl, isn't gone. She's still there. If she feels gone, it's because you're disconnected. You just need to reconnect to her. She never left. She isn't gone. And she's waiting for you. And she's pretty damn lonely too. She wants mama back. That's why I send you back to her. Because she's the one with the flow state. She ain't programmed. She don't know nothing about need money for money and all of that. She just knows abundance. She knows imagination. Because you were born with it and you are her. Yeah? Hey, Keisha, good to see you. You're born with it. Imagination. I, Magi, never forget it. This is a lie that you should never forget. This one comes directly from your ancestors. The only credit I take is for being the vehicle for them to speak. Because sometimes they speak to you all the time and you don't hear them. And sometimes they need to hire a sharpshooter. They need the one with the voice. And I never say no to them. I never say no to them. Because each and every one of you, you've been here long enough where every one of your ancestors, you're the ones that come in all the time. I'm talking to you. Because if you've just been here the first time, it won't be true to you. You have to keep coming to these lives. Nolia, Levitt B, your ancestors been talking loud and clear today. Lexi Rosas, I know your ancestors. They've spoken to me. If you've been to more than 5 lives, your ancestors have spoken to me at least once. You know how I know it? Because I have a structure and a plan for every life. I hardly ever get through the first 10%. I put it on this computer. Look at this computer right now. It's closed. It's closed. I read, how many points I had? 5. I got through 2.5, 2, barely 2, because I skipped over some stuff inside of each of them. They're always talking to you, whether it's through another person, straight to you, through your intuition, because you're worth it. You are their crown and glory. And abundance and having money is important because if the physical reality and the physical life and the needs are not met there, you're not thinking about enlightenment. I take this, pretend this is a hammer, and I pound your hand with a nail. And the original ancestor, the great one, comes along and says, my child, what is your wish? You're going to bring that hand that's got the nail in it and say, you ain't going to be thinking about enlightenment or your spiritual growth or your spiritual plan or anything like that. That's why your physical has to be, and so that's why you don't separate it from your spiritual side. You know, some of us have our 3D everyday side, and then we have that over here, and we have our spiritual side over here. Big mistake. It's all spiritual. Never make a distinction between the two. Everything is spiritual. Because the minute your breath leaves, the body, the emotions, and the physical mind falls away. Those are only three things that make you spiritual, and you're back to spirit. So don't make the mistake of separating spiritual and physical. No. That's the stuff taught to us by religion. You probably are, Levitt B. Yeah, emotional pain is tough. Emotional pain is tough. Right? So, just know, I'm gonna make a summary here. The love of money is not the root of all evil, it's the lack of money. Money, do not separate it when you speak of abundance, because money is a form of abundance. And abundance, if you don't like all of abundance, which also includes money, then you're going to have a problem with abundance. You have a problem with money, you have a problem with abundance. Period. That's why I talk about money, because that's where the problem is. Because once you know who you are, then you'll know what money is. On the physical level, we use it for survival and to attain a certain amount of liberty and freedom. On the mental level, that's the machine that creates the abundance and freedom. That's the machine, the mental. What you can envision, how you see yourself, creates the kind of reality which has however amount of abundance in it based on what you think of money. Because that's the trick. We go, I want abundance. Money? Nah, I just want abundance. There's no such thing. There's no difference between the two. And when you truly know, you know that your spirit, the part of you that's eternal, doesn't need money. Doesn't have money, rather. Doesn't have abundance. You as a spirit are those things. You don't have it. You are those things. And you are the descendant of your spirit. So you're those things too. Unless you believe that you're not. Then you run into the other riff-raff problems of lack and just living to survive. You must fall in love with money. Because she's a woman. She doesn't care how you look, what you wear. She only knows what you feel about her based on what you do. And she likes to hear nice things. Like, money, I use you to pay these bills, and I have a place for you to return to me in tenfold. This is your home. Money, she loves sweet nothings. Here's another one. Money, I will put you in a place where you can go to work for me and multiply yourself and pay me dividends. And I will love it and cherish you because I am you and you're me. And if you have a problem doing that, be your inner child. Be that 4 and 5-year-old. Because she loves it when you go to that place. Because she doesn't have to deal with any silly beliefs or crap that you were taught and told. With that child, she doesn't have to deal with any of that. And that child loves her because that child loves fun, and so does money. And she'll stick around. But she ain't sticking around where there's lack. She doesn't like that bastard. She ain't hanging out with him. And she's not sticking around where she's not wanted. She's not sticking around where she's not valued. Y'all know that. Are you going to stick around where you're not valued, not wanted, not cherished, not loved? Think about money the same way. And make a welcoming place in your mind for money. And then abundance will come too. Because if that's where your problem is, abundance ain't coming to your house. Because you got a sickness going on in your mind when it comes to one form of it, which is money. And I stick with money because that's what most of us have the problem with. We see other people and what the bad things they do with money, and we don't want it. It has nothing to do with money. Because she don't discriminate on how people behave. She only knows what's up here. Right? And create a place physically where you don't forget to keep falling in love with money. Like that abundance corner, left side of your house, or left side of your bedroom if you live in a bedroom. And you put money in there. Even if it's a penny. What's there this week was more than was there last week. If you forget 1 week or whatever, you put 2 pennies in. Or $1 or whatever it is. And you write things like imagination in that corner. Come up with a little ritual. And please don't repeat those silly old sad ass mantras and affirmations that you heard off TikTok or any book. You make your own. And you make it short and sweet. Even if it's something like when you're putting those pennies, those pennies and more money than you had the last week. Money, I love you. Come to me, my darling. And that's your mantra, and that's your affirmation. You made it up, it's yours. And because you're so original, and you see, because a lot of those affirmations and those mantras that you're taught about, you don't know what's wrapped up into them because you didn't make them. You make your own stuff with your ancestors. Stop repeating other people's garbage. Get rid of the affirmations. And if you need to say something that gives you joy and pleasure, you sit down and take 5 minutes to make one up yourself. And all you got to do is make it easy, short, and memorable. Folks, we don't have a problem doing that. Especially you black folks. Rhythmic, lyrical, all that kind of stuff. Why don't you dive into that imagination and make something up yourself? Don't use other people's stuff. And I just said black folks, but I'm talking about everybody. Don't tell me you can't think of nothing.
I wouldn't be surprised because that's
You're thinking of stuff all the time that doesn't do you any good. Nonsense. Make up your own rituals, make up your own affirmations. Just never lie to yourself. And make them short and believable. And things that bring a smile to your face. Because if they evoke a certain emotion, even if it's a smile, that goes into the machine. But if you didn't make it up, it's just something you just saying because somebody else said it. And told you that you need to repeat it. That's why that shit ain't working for those of you who are doing it. Because you're using other people's stuff and your ancestors not even involved in the creation of it. They got to be involved. Do things that make you think of abundance. And I'm only giving a couple of stuff out because the golden nuggets I don't give out unless you invest in yourself. You're interested in the academic and spiritual community, my spiritual tribe, DM me. That's where I dole out the gems. I dole out some gems here today. But I'm just doing that to let you know. Because anytime I speak, I don't give you the light stuff. I don't give you the weak stuff. I don't give you my best stuff. But you get some good stuff. Better than you get anywhere else on this app. But if you want the golden nuggets, you must commit more than just your free time here on TikTok. I just tell myself no matter how I feel, I can do it scared, anxious, but I know my abundance is there. Exactly. And that's bravery. When you do things even though you're scared and anxious, that's bravery. Yeah, my lives are more in depth there. They're more in depth because I can deal more directly and I can be more honest. Not that I'm dishonest here, but I have to watch what I say. Y'all know that. There's certain things I can't say here. That boy, those in the community, they hear. And it's very small, by the way. It's not that big, it's small. Small and intimate. And I'm the only teacher in there for a specific reason. So you know exactly who the teacher is and what everything sounds like because you already listened to me here on this app. Yeah. And I'll teach basic things like this, wrapping up meditation, teaching people how to meditate. This is the last week of that. But it's all recorded, right? And you'd be surprised because all the people in the class are meditators. And every single one said they learned stuff they didn't know about meditation and how it's going to make it easier for them. So even obvious stuff that you hear about, right? Because everything I teach, I've learned and tested. Like meditation, right? In 2013, I spent $900 That's $900 back then to learn how to meditate. By the way, I was living in one bedroom, broke as, but whatever I needed, Spirit provided. So I teach meditation better than anybody else I know, because I've also gone to different places for meditation. And when I teach it, every single person I teach said they didn't, because when things get over here, they get corrupted, and all of a sudden, they can't be done. Most of the people that complain about not being able to meditate are from the West. They're from Europe and the United States, the West. People from the East, you never hear them complain about not being able to meditate, because it's a part of the culture and it's taught. So you guys, thank you so much. 14 of you here. Thank you so much for those of you who caused that. I hope that you got a good taste of it. If you missed most of this, DM me with your email address, and yes, you'll be on the. I'm just gonna tell you so you know, because you're not gonna get spam. I'll put you on the list where we send out newsletters twice a month, right? But I'll email you I'll give you the link to this live, because this is, to me, one of the most important lives I've put out, in my opinion. So if you got here and you didn't hear the whole thing, let me know and I'll send it to you. Just DM me, right? Oh, are you from Scotland? 2 weeks of sun, shit, depression, low vibrations. Yeah, the sun, it's kind of hard. I've been to Scotland, by the way. I actually had a good time there. It was my second wife at the time and my 2 children, my 2 girls. And one of my girls got to go to school, because we just didn't do the touristy stuff. We really wanted to experience the place. And we stayed with a couple. And my oldest daughter at the time, she was five. She got to go to school for a day with the daughter of the couple that we stayed with. We did it through an organization called Servas, a wonderful organization. I didn't stay there long enough. It's one of the best things that I did for my daughters. They got to travel a lot as kids. And if you can take your kid, even if you can't go overseas, people, you can just take your kids to experience different cultures, even if they're within the United States, you do it. Cool, man. I do like the rain too, to be honest. It's therapeutic. Not as much as sun, though. I'm olive-skinned. Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually do like the rain, but you see, I enjoy the rain because I'm in Southern California, and we have, like, you know how you have 2 weeks of sun? We got like 2 weeks of rain. It's the opposite. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. If you want a copy of the live, just DM me, put your email in there. When I upload it, I'll send it to you. And if you're interested in the community, do the same. Thank you so much. The next time I'll be here will be next Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great rest of the day.